it's Nancy today. So I have some things to tell you about. I am going to walk the Appalachian Trail, right? I don't think it's going to be called a hike. I think it's going to be stroll. Can you close that back window again, Willem, please? Sorry. Hello, Paul. Can't really see. So yesterday I decided that I would walk around the block, and it turned out to be 13.8 kilometers long. Hi, Ryan. And a lot of it was through wilderness. The road is not maintained in the winter where there's nobody living, and so there's a lot of hunt camps back in that area. And it's behind us, right? We're on the front of the block, and that's what the other side of the block is. Anyway, so as soon as I would need something, I would think about it, and I don't think this is recording. I think we must have gone out of service again. Well, anyway. Oh, there. Hello. We're back together. Okay, so I was learning while I was walking. First of all, I was finding out what my body felt like when I walked, and how far could I walk and feel comfortable. And when I stopped feeling comfortable, what parts of me started to hurt and why. So when my knees started to bother me, I started focusing on them and why were they hurting. And I think that when you walk, you just swing your leg out and land it, swing the next one out and land it. It's kind of a haphazard sort of a thing. That's a little too cold on my toes. So I realized that if I consciously put my heel down and rolled the bottom of my foot down and splayed my toes. I was wearing Crocs. I had a pair of knee socks on with my Crocs, and I felt very comfortable. And I had room to splay my toes when I would walk. Excuse me. It's a long walk. And so I learned how to keep my knees from hurting, what to do so that my knees were going to be fine. I tried to make sure I put my leg, I needed a way to sit where there were not going to be any ticks able to get on me. And I needed some kind of bag to get into. So I think that put your feet in the air, do scissor exercises, and raise your arms up. I think that wiping bugs off of your hair is a good exercise for your arms. See, I have this little wings thing there. That's from being fat and losing weight. 75 pounds to be specific. Anyway. So I don't want to carry a heavy backpack. Anyway, so what I thought I would do was I would, as I walk, I will come up with ideas of things that I need that are very lightweight. And I will add them to my list in my mind as I need them. So, I don't need everything. At first, I just need something that I can get into to keep the bugs off and lay on the ground. Because when you walk, there's not going to be benches or, a pile of gravel where you can lay down and there's not going to be any bugs on it. No ticks to walk onto you. Anyway, it's going to be some kind of a body bag, I guess. So I thought I would start by walking distance. So like I'm concentrating on places that are in the woods, like that are like unopened or unmaintained road allowances, so I don't have to deal with people and traffic and cement and pavement and all that stuff. I can just be in nature, and it's going to be, the trail is going to be like that. The trail probably won't be as wide as this snowmobile / car trail. Anyway, so I don't want to have to carry bug repellent, and so I think that the best thing to do about the bugs is, instead of eliminating the bugs, it's to lay in the sun, toughen your skin, like get some really tough weathered skin, stand out in the wind, let the wind weather your face and your arms, your legs. Then when the bugs bite you, you can't feel it because you don't have that much sensitivity. When you get wet, then your skin softens up pretty quickly. It absorbs the water like a sponge.
We never take showers in here. Yes.
You hear that? Well, I don't think I'll be taking a lot of showers on the trail. I've been taking a shower every single day since bug season started, or when I'm out there, just in case the little ticks are on me and I gotta wash them off. They're so tiny. You can fit 4 of them on the head of a pin. Head of a pin is pretty big when you compare it to ticks. Okay, so let's see. What else was I gonna do? So I need a bag to get into because I have to be able to, you see, my body is the first priority, right? I have to do everything for my body. I have to make my body be able to sustain me. So I have to be able to lay it down on the ground when I'm tired. So a body bag is the first thing. And then learning how to walk and practicing walking so I get used to walking in these ways. And slower is better than fast, but not too slow. A nice pace is good. But you have to be able to stop and take photographs and look at things. Watching these trucks as we drive by. Kind of scary. So I'm going to increase the amount each day, and as I increase the amount, and as my body, as I get rid of the pain in my knees and back and feet, as I'm able to deal with those things, then I think I will, then I'll start adding something like a very lightweight empty backpack. And I'll walk with an empty backpack for a while. And then I'll put 1 or 2 things in it, So I'm going to build up. And people who lift weights, like my son lifts a couple 100 pounds or something. And it's not kilos, is it? Anyway, he lifts a lot of weight, but he didn't start lifting a lot of weight. And these people that do all these things, they didn't start doing the whole thing. And I'm a great believer in eating an elephant 1 bite at a time. And so I think that this is how I'm going to prepare. And I'll also need to find the battery pack that goes to my phone. I may have to take an extra one. Stuff like that, and the binoculars and a bottle of water. Right there, you've got a lot of weight. And compared to the amount that you need when you're out there, but you have to decide on what you want. How luxurious do you want your trip? Like, do you want to just go to bed when it gets dark? Do you want to have light at night? stays light pretty late in the summer here. I get tired of being outside and working. I get tired of using the sunlight because it lasts for so long. It's 8 o'clock and it's still as sunny as ever. And I feel really bad when I come inside and I sit down and I watch the news or something. I feel bad that I'm not making good use of the sunlight. Today while the sun shines, work with a will. Today while the sun shines, your duties fulfill. Anyway, I'm a big stickler about not wasting time. I don't like wasting time. Time has to be productive. Whether it's doing service or spending time with somebody, or it's actually accomplishing things. I like accomplishing things that I can see the results from. So when I put everything away in the kitchen, when the whole house is all put away, the next day I still have to do it all again. So I might as well do something else, like build garden beds. Anyway, hiking yesterday was not my idea at the beginning. I was just going to go water my plants and, early morning garden stuff. But I ended up going for a walk, and then I wasn't sure if I was going to just walk to my sister's land next door and walk through there, or if I would walk around the block and then come back in from the other side. The other side of the block, or if I would continue on and go to the lake and maybe say hi to the person that lives by the lake. Turns out it was like 7 o'clock in the morning when I got there, so I guess that wasn't a very good time for that. Then I went past Carol's house. These are places that I go back roading. I have a lot of videos called back roading. If you Google Nancy Today back roading, theoretically you would get a lot, but the algorithm that sorts what you're allowed to see from a search, it's not like it used to be when you'd go to a search engine on the internet and you'd search for something and you'd find it. But when you go into YouTube and then search, it doesn't give you everything you want, right? Hello, Mary. Mary O.D. Marigold. Mario. Hi. Sorry. Anyway, I'm continuing to talk even though that you guys can't really hear it right now. But as long as I can see my picture, I think it's recording. So I might as well keep on. So it was 13.8 kilometers yesterday, and I was really, 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 really dead. Not dead. I was really way past it. But once I lay down, I was much better. But it did not remove the pain from my feet. Like sitting down and putting them in the air worked well. I got to a point where there was a lake on both sides of the trail. And so I bent down and I scooped some water in my hand and had some water. See, I don't want to have to take water. I want to be able to purify what is there. Now, I know that these lakes nearby me, these are all pure. They're fine. And if there are beavers in them and therefore giardia, the lakes are big enough that I haven't gotten sick from them. So maybe I don't get giardia. Wouldn't that be nice? Anyway, this is a very interesting experience to do it all in one day, this huge project of walking around the block, and most of it through wilderness in the middle of the woods, dense woods. came into sunshine at one point. It was so exciting when the sun came. But there was mosquitoes. I didn't realize that there was a swamp in this woods. And the level of the water sometimes was higher than the level of the road. But because of the potholes that had been driven through, the potholes had big enough sides on them that they created a dam for the water in the swamp on both sides. That was interesting. Not every time do you want to ditch the pothole. That would have filled it up. But you know, the mosquitoes, there were so many mosquitoes that I couldn't stop. I had to keep moving. I couldn't, take one step in front of the other. I had to keep going. I couldn't stop one step. I couldn't skip one step because the mosquitoes would just eat me. They were flying alongside the whole time. Dozens and dozens at once. I reached my arm down to the ground, and it was something I didn't have to do. I reached down, and I noticed when my fingers and arms went through this very tight, or very thick area of mosquitoes. I put my arm into it, and then I immediately pulled it out and stood up, kept walking. I was wearing a long skirt that went to the ground pretty well. I wasn't going to be walking in the grass, so I thought that would be fine. Anyway, I'm gonna go now. See you later. Bye. How do you stop it when it's not even started yet?